Madam Chair and Commissioners, I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. We're not streaming to YouTube, but it's okay. We'll figure it out later, so you can begin the meeting.
All right. Welcome, everyone. And do we just have, we have Sean and Bobby. So, okay.
And Commissioner Ivanov is here too.
Pardon?
Commissioner Ivanov is here too.
Oh, awesome. Great, we've got online. All right, well, we've got everyone then. So, welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. Hope you guys all had good holidays. So, the Meridian Arts Commission's mission is to develop, advance, and nurture all facets of the arts to enhance the quality of life for Meridian residents and its visitors. So we will start with roll call. Lizzie Taylor.
Here.
I'm here. Sean Muscolo.
Here.
Brecken Bird.
Here.
Crystal Paulson.
Here.
Patrick O'Leary.
Here.
Bobby Gatton.
Madam Chair, he was online, so but now he's not. So hopefully I know he's on the road traveling, so hopefully he can rejoin.
Oh, okay, yeah, hopefully we'll get him back. Okay, Hannah Scoville.
Here.
And Vasil Ivanov.
Here. Excuse me. I've lost my voice. Here.
Oh, no, okay. We've got everyone. Welcome, everybody. So we will start with a motion to adopt the agenda.
Madam Chair, so moved.
Madam Chair, I second.
All right, Commissioner Taylor moves, Commissioner O'Leary seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
Next, we're looking for a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Madam Chair, I so move.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Taylor moves, Commissioner Byrd seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. That was Brecken, right? I thought I heard it coming from that direction. Cool. All right. All right, next, looking for a motion to approve the monthly financial statements. And any questions before we approve?
I move that we approve the monthly financial statement.
I second.
All right, Commissioner Scoville moves, Commissioner Paulson seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, for the first item of new business is a presentation, and we are so glad to finally have Lauren Kistner here to tell us about the Meridian Fine Art Festival. So come on up.
Okay, hi, I'm Lauren, and this is my partner in crime / mother, Sherry. She's been producing the Pay at Lakes Fine Arts and Crafts and Fair for 34 years now, and this is kind of a natural progression to start another show in Meridian. This one's going to be June 29th and 30th at Kleiner Park.
Pardon me, Lauren, can you speak up into the microphone a little bit?
I know, I have a very low voice. Okay, it's going to be June 29th and 30th in Kleiner Park, and we're going to have we're hoping to get about 80 artists in there this year and then grow from there. We want it to grow into like Boise's Art in the Park, but more focus on local art and the different like dance and chalk art, grow it into something that has a lot of different facets to it. What am I missing? Okay, I'm better at questions.
Okay.
If you guys have some for me.
Hi and welcome. Just a question. Do you guys have any special or draw or application process for indigenous or minor or underserved artists?
Oh, not currently. That's a good idea, though.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
good. Yeah. Okay.
So when we first heard about this, I read through all your stuff and everything, and I saw that you wanted everyone to have basically matching gazebos and stuff. Do you have, like, what if someone doesn't have a gazebo or along that lines? Is that a disqualification for them if they don't?
Go ahead.
No, it wouldn't be, as long as, we have some vendors in McCall that don't have a canopy because they want that natural light. So as long as it's conducive to what they are selling, we don't have a problem with them not having a canopy. We just want professional-looking canopies if they have canopies.
If somebody's looking for a canopy, do you have a means for them to, or a vendor that can provide it to them at a discount without them having to buy one?
No, not necessarily. They can get them fairly reasonable almost anywhere. We do give them, there are some really nice commercial ones, so the people that are wanting to get into it long-term, we do give out that information, but no, we don't have any discount or any, what do you call it?
I know one person who would rent a tent if needed. One. But that is a good resource to also look into for the website and the show itself, yeah.
So can you kind of paint a picture for us what you're looking for being the first year and what kind of advertisement and all that you're going to put into it?
Yeah, so we're hoping to get we're going to work on a sponsorship program for the community around Meridian. I want to focus on getting help from Meridian community. Right now, we've got about $3,500 in radio advertising. We're going to do posters with a poster company in Boise. They do like 250 different businesses. What else
We'll
are we
do
doing?
some print ad.
The print ads, we'll do some newspaper, Facebook, Instagram, the social stuff.
Have you guys contacted or been in touch with the Chamber of Commerce regarding that? That'd be a good one.
It's another good one. See, now I need to have a piece of paper and a pen to write down all these good ideas that you have, Patrick.
If you have graphics at any point, you could send it to us and I could distribute it on social media. I know some other people can too.
Yes, I've been watching you guys and reposting a lot of the stuff that you post on Instagram too. So that'll be a good share for the couple of us.
So I don't know a lot about this kind of show, so this is why I'm asking this question, is that you said like a juried show. Can you explain to me, are all of them in a jury and that's how they get in, or how does that really work?
You're good at this question.
Yes, we do jury. They have to send pictures and a picture of their display, so we know how they're going to fit in with the show. And so from those pictures, we get together and we look at them, look at the quality of their work, and choose whether or not we're going to allow them in our show.
Yeah, so it's fine art and craft, so we're not looking for
Granny crafts.
like too many granny crafts or like
No
Tupperware or resale.
No resale, no buy-sell. We want at
Scentsy.
least 90% of what's in their booth to be produced by them. You know, there can be a few things that, like I do stained glass, I do kaleidoscopes. I don't make the marbles and I don't make the wands that go in the kaleidoscope. So that's the 10% that can be bought.
Does that answer it?
It does. I have another question if no one else is. I forgot my question. I'll come back.
Sorry.
Yeah, me again. Will you guys have food carts, food? And what is I'll get two of them in. What's your estimated size of vendors or artists you'll have this year? And do you have a kind of a long-term projection of how you believe it'll grow?
Yeah, so food vendor wise, we're hoping to have 3 to 6 different food trucks to accommodate all of the people that'll be at the show. And growth wise, right now we have 58 vendors and the application's still open for a month and a half. So we're hoping to get 80 this year. I think we'd max out at probably 300. But we do have access to the entire park if needed, so we could grow it into something bigger.
Okay, I remember my question again. So I was looking at your show that you're doing, and then I also looked at the one for the city of Boise. And the city of Boise, they have entry fees for every artist, but if the artist is doing more, like if they're doing pottery and painting, they have to put a separate entry fee. Do you guys have anything like that? I didn't see anything like that, but,
No, they can have more than one medium, that's fine.
okay.
Same application fee.
And one more. Give me a description of what you guys feel this will separate you or be different than the art show in Boise.
Because it's in Meridian, and Meridian is awesome. I think with Boise, they have some stuff that's not super crafty. They have a lot of sponsor booths in there. I want to keep it more on the professional artist level.
Local.
And local.
And
Yeah.
local.
I mean, we're going to have regional artists as well. We've got a guy that's coming from Massachusetts for this one, but I want to focus mostly on local art.
Thank you.
Can you describe for me, let's put me as an example. Okay, so I've been an art teacher for over 20 years, and I'm at the cusp at wanting to show off my own artwork because I've supported other people, and I'm at that very beginning where I'm like, okay, I got work building up, and then I have a different level of work that I can, that I would sell. The other would be a lot less. So for someone like me, that's like, I would really like to try and sell my work. Do you think, like, first of all, your show would be a good spot to do that? And second of all, what would that booth look like if I wanted to do that?
So we do want to support emerging artists as well, but we are going to focus on people that are professional at it, yeah. I'd say just email me, and I will walk you through how to get to that point and what you need, because I'm very helpful. We'll get you there. Does that answer it? I'm really good at sidetracking.
No, that was great.
Email me, girl, because I will get you there. Yes. But you should definitely look into Art and Roses. That's a good one to start with because it's a low price point. And then it's got a lot of good following.
I know you guys are professionals at this. You've done several different correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you're the ones that run the Pay at Lakes one and several others. How has it been trying to do this Meridian one? Do you feel like it's been positive so far and you feel like you're getting engagement?
Yeah, it takes generally 3 to 5 years to build a show up. And on this one, I know with Treasure Valley Fine Art Festival that was there before, the biggest complaint I heard from people I've talked to is that there wasn't enough advertising. So we're really going to push advertising and trying to get the community support for it to grow it faster.
And the people from Pay at Lakes that have done my show for years are eagerly supporting this show. A lot of the vendors that we have come from that mailing list.
I love that. Thanks, guys. And I think this is a really good thing for Meridian. I think there's a growing artist community here. There's just not a lot of maybe knowledge or awareness from the community that there are so many artists. So I love that we're moving an art fair out here. I think it's going to be great.
That's a big part of why we're doing this, is that when Art tried to bring the Treasure Valley show, it started something that you can't just dangle a carrot and then take it away. So having conversations with the artists from that show, telling me, hey, you guys should do this, was really, yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to give you a break. Cassie, is there any way or what can we as a commission do to help them or promote and advertise this?
Yeah, Commissioner O'Leary. So yeah, I think that's a great question for Lauren. Like, how can this commission support you? How could we help promote that? Because I know everyone wants to bring more art and culture to Meridian and be able to support you, what could you use?
Help with advertising, yes?
Definitely get the word out through social media.
Yeah. I'm not really sure.
Do you have any posters or anything already made up for that?
Not yet. Those are coming. Our application deadline is February 15th, so once that hits, I'll start really, because I want to have the artwork on the posters. So, but I have a logo.
All right. Any other questions?
Madam Chair and Commissioners, I had one question I was curious about was how much reproduction are you allowing? I know that some fairs are different, like how much in terms of prints versus original work will you have in yours?
Like 10% or so. What do you usually? What do you for reproductions?
Reproduction, like painters having cards
And prints and stuff like that. So I don't have a limit on it.
limit in McCall.
No, we want you to make money. Yeah. So, I mean, a fair amount of original art is preferred, but then you can do prints and cards and stickers and all of that. I know there's a couple of shows that don't allow it, but I want you to make money. I want to connect the customers to the artists and the artists to the customers. So that's what we're all about, is making art an accessible job.
So on a typical show, what do you suggest an artist, how much do you think they should bring to a show like this?
I recommend getting that canopy and setting it up with as much stuff as you can put in it. Yeah, and then if it looks overcrowded, take some stuff out. But ideally, it's just how you present it, whatever feels comfortable.
What the vendor feels comfortable with. You know, some vendors want to have every little spot filled, and others
They want to see the forest for the
want,
trees.
yeah, they want to have more of a, like a gallery display. So it's really up to the individual artist how they want to display their stuff. And for one person, you know, bringing $500 worth of stuff is great. And for another person with a different art, it might be $10,000 worth of stuff that they've got showing in their booth. So it's just really up to that artist, how they feel.
What makes you comfortable?
One more. Do you guys see that in the future, not for the first one, but adding other forms? I mean, in Kleiner Park, there's the band shell, and being able to add maybe concerts or music and dance or street performers within the whole event?
I want to grow this huge, so yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Car shows, chalk art, you know, all sorts of stuff. Interpretive dances, everything. I would love to incorporate that band shell. For this first year, we're just using Shelter 1A. It's a large space next to the playground and the bathrooms. The band shell's kind of, I think we need another year or two and we'll get there. Yeah, that's my timeline. It's like 2 years, 3 years. That's my goal, but only time will tell.
Thank you.
Hannah, got anything?
No, I don't think so. Just send those posters out to us when you have them. I'm totally happy to share on Instagram and all that good stuff.
Excellent. Lizzie? Got anything for me there, Lizzie?
Thank you, no.
I do have one question. I'm kind of just curious. This sounds like a big endeavor, even for sort of a smaller thing that you're starting out with. So, how do you fund these kinds of things? Is it sort of from the other shows that you've done, or is it personal investment, or?
So the application fees go a long ways.
Okay.
So like I said, we have I think we have 58 vendors right now, which covers our radio advertising. And then we still need a few more thousand for the park and the entertainment. But I am going to be reaching out to pretty much every business in Meridian for sponsorship.
Okay.
So if they can help us in any way, we'll get them on posters, we'll get them on the internet, But yeah, sponsorships, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
And Payne Lakes is backing it.
Lakes is going to be very helpful.
Yeah. Great. Any last questions? No? Thank you, ladies. We're so excited. So let us stay in touch. Let us know how we can help you and support you. And we'll see you at the show in June.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Look at Meridian growing up, getting our own out show. Okay. Next item on our agenda is recommending our 2024 Concerts on Broadway season lineup and discuss the concert poster illustration art. So Cassie, I think that's on you. I'll let you take that.
Yes, thanks, Madam Chair and Commissioners. So I have tentatively booked some bands. And the bands I've booked, the first two are a little bit different in some ways. We have mostly had cover bands in the past, but Steve Fulton is a really popular musician that's well known in the area, and he has a bigger band called Ultra Muse, and they've played at like Hyde Park Street Fair and some other places. And so watched a video of them. I think they're a pretty good fit. I also kind of like that they are mostly original music by Steve Fulton, but they do have some covers in there, so it's not, so our audience will still recognize some of the songs. And then the second band is Afrosonics, which is fairly different for the concerts in terms of it's all original music. They're really engaging, very danceable, and it's a big band with a lot of musicians. And then the final one is Summer Groove Party Band. They have been at almost every show throughout the season and has always been our biggest draw. So those are the bands that I'm proposing, but open to comments and questions about that. But I am looking for a recommendation. If those look good, then I'll move forward on those. And I'm also the illustration that we had last year. We got really good feedback on that. That's the City Hall kind of coming out of the guitar case that Kelly Knopf did. So we could either continue to use that sort of as branding or go back to try to hire a different artist and do a different design. So open to Commission's recommendation, either direction for that.
Wait, you're still on mute.
One of these days I'll learn this thing, not anytime soon. I would strongly suggest that for branding purposes, we keep with the same artist, the same style of art, which was very, very well received. It was fun, it was perky, it was almost all things to all people, because if we're going to have different bands, let's not do too much different stuff all at once. If you have a good brownie recipe, stick with it. We have a good recipe here, and the art last year was fabulous.
Cassie, what do we pay each band, or what's the average?
It depends on what they ask for, and there's some contract negotiation with that, but typically it's Summer Groove Party Band is more than the other bands. But typically it's in the $1,500 to $2,500 range.
Okay. And another question, there's a band in this area, the Neil Diamond Experience. Have you ever been in contact with them? It's a 12-piece.
I am somewhat familiar with them. I haven't been in contact with them.
Yeah, I have no idea what their fee is, but I do know somebody who's in the band, so it might be something for next year.
Yeah, I can definitely look into them for next year and look at the music, make sure it kind of fits, and figure out what their fees are.
Yeah, just thinking that a specific genre or artist cover band, and especially with the generation of audience, might be a big draw.
So I think there's going to be the music series at Kleiner Park this summer as well, which is not connected to us, and I think they do more of the cover band type stuff. Is that right?
Yes, thanks, Madam Chair. I forgot to mention that as part of that. So the Kleiner Park series, which is Bree Kleiner Park Live is how that is branded. They just started up last year a series of 6 concerts every other week in Kleiner Park, and that's under our special events coordinator. She'd been thinking about doing these for a while, so they were very successful last year. And we are using some of the same bands. The ones that we use for our concerts are a little bit bigger, but they are also cover bands. So that was one of the things I've been thinking about, is trying to distinguish our concerts on Broadway a little bit by moving towards not as many cover bands and towards more original music. And I would love to get the commission's feedback on that direction and what you think. My personal thought is that, Arts Commission, maybe we want to support more original music. But it is a little bit different than what we, traditionally our audience has been more covers, so.
I would agree with that. I think as the Arts Commission, I think it's good to branch out a little bit more and support more of that original work. Cassie, I think when we had talked, you didn't want to throw everyone for a complete loop and totally switch things up, which is why we're still sticking with, a band that we've used before that does a lot of covers to kind of help, bring people along, bridge that gap, but still introduce them to new music. And I'm super excited about the Afrosonics. I think that would be really awesome. So, excited for all of them, but I really like Afrosonics.
Madam
And
Chair.
there's no overlap on the dates between the Kleinert Park and these, correct?
Commissioner Muscolo, yes, there's no overlap. I think it actually kind of works well because the Kleiner Park Live ones are every other week on Fridays, but then it's kind of 2 weeks after their last one is the first concerts on Broadway, which is on Saturday.
Perfect.
Bracken or Crystal, were you gonna?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I was just wondering, there were some really good buskers at Art Week this year. Do we have their contact information? We could throw some of them in the mix, have them perform a couple. I don't know.
That's a great idea. We do have, we usually have opening bands as well, so maybe we could invite some of those buskers to perform, do a couple of folks at one, or kind of spread them out. That's a great idea.
Cassandra, has the Arts Commission or the Concerts on Broadway ever featured the Meridian Symphony, or a cut-down version of the symphony?
We have not used the symphony for concerts on Broadway, but we do use the symphony for Gene Kleiner Days in the park at the band shell every year.
Thank you.
Yes, Emily.
Madam Chair, many moons ago, like maybe in the first or second year of Concerts on Broadway, they did have the symphony as one of their featured bands, but it's been decades, so yes, but no.
Yeah. I thought I remembered them possibly performing as an opener as well, but I could be wrong about that. So, good idea though, Patrick, to bring them in and maybe give them a spotlight. I saw their holiday performance. I went to their holiday performance in December, and it was so much fun, just incredible. I really enjoyed it. So the more that we can support them, the better.
Madam Chair, this is Bobby.
Yes, Bobby.
Hi, everyone. I recommend using the graphics from Kelly Knopf again, and I think that was a great illustration. I think that it was effective. And I also like the idea of bringing in original music. I know the cover bands bring a lot of hype and a lot of energy and all, but it's nice to support original music. And so the more we can do that, I like the idea of that. Mm-hmm. But I know that cover bands tend to bring in, again, a lot more folks to come out and participate and maybe even engage with the bands. But yeah, that's my take. Thanks.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Bobby. Any other thoughts or questions?
I was just going to add that I find that it's awesome that we have more than just one set of concerts going on in Meridian, and that I agree that the cover bring in a lot. So I think if you were to transition, I like the mix of it. And maybe just, I mean, like anything else, see how it goes. And really, what we're doing is we're building a culture. And it takes time to build a culture because you're shifting from one thing, and how many people even know about like the concerts and stuff like that. So I like how we're shifting it. We're still doing covers, but seeing what else is out there, because people won't know until they experience it.
Yeah, those are great points. Thanks, Crystal. Yeah. So do we need a motion and a second? Is that what we're looking for today, or are we just sort of a general consensus that this is the way forward?
Motion in a second would be great. And I also really appreciate the feedback and some good thoughts about potentially using the buskers as openers. And I will look into Neil Diamond. And throughout the year, I just want to say, if you go out and you see a great band and you think that they're great, please do send them my way. I keep kind of a running list of anyone that's been recommended, and look into those.
Great. So I think we're looking for a motion and a second for the list of bands that Cassandra proposed, as well as whether to continue using Kelly Knop or to open it up for other artists. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that the illustration one doesn't necessarily need a motion. It sounds like that's the general direction, but recommendation on the bands would be great.
Okay, great.
Madam Chair, I move, can you hear me?
Yep.
That we approve the bands set before us.
I second.
All right. Commissioner Paulson moves, Commissioner Scoville seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. We have our bands for our summer concert series. Great. Okay, next we are going to move on to our election. So we do this every year. Let me pull up my election script. Cassandra, thank you for sending it. I did have it, but it was kind of buried in my email, so now it's right up front. Okay. So the next order of business is election of officers. Meridian City Code directs us to hold elections at the first meeting of each calendar year. Our bylaws state that officers of the commission shall include the commission chair and commission vice chair. Our bylaws also state that our current vice chair is automatically nominated for the office of chair. So Crystal Paulson is our first nominee. And I will now take any other nominations from the floor for the office of chair. Okay. Hearing none, Crystal Paulson has been nominated for the office of chair. Are there any other nominations for chair? No? Seeing none, the nominations for chair are now closed. I will now take nominations from the floor for the office of vice chair.
Madam Chair, I move that Brecken Bird is put up for vice chair.
Great. So Brecken Bird has been nominated for the office of vice chair. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Okay. Seeing none, the nominations for vice chair are now closed. I propose that we vote on these nominations as a slate and by acclamation, since both nominees are running unopposed. Is there a motion to elect Crystal Paulson as chair and Brecken Bird as vice chair for 2024?
Madam Chair, I so move.
Second.
Oh, that was Sean. Okay. It has been moved and seconded that we elect Crystal Paulson as chair and Brecken Bird as vice chair for 2024. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Hearing none, the motion carries. Congratulations, Chair Crystal, and Chair Paulson, and Vice Chair Bird.
Congratulations.
Okay. I think that's it. Emily, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're set.
Perfect.
Thumbs up. Okay, great. Congratulations, Crystal and Brecken. All right. So that's it for our new items. We'll move on to reports now. First, we have the staff updates on public art. And is that going to be Cassandra or Bobby?
Madam Chair, that's me. The Public Art Committee didn't meet this last month. So I have some updates. Sometimes I like to give my updates in the form of a PowerPoint and lots of visuals, but I apologize I don't have that. But there are a couple of really cool updates. Well, so we have the call for the transit stops. Hopefully you all are aware of both of the calls that are out right now for the transit shelter, public art, and for the youth performing arts projects. Any help that you can offer in spreading the word on those would be great. I do think we'll probably get quite a few responses for the transit shelter. I've already had some questions from the public, and I have a news reporter that has contacted me about that call, so I'm not too worried about getting responses for that one. But we only had a few responses for the Youth Performing Arts Project, and that deadline's February 2nd, so helping to spread the word. I've contacted several performing arts organizations, the Symphony, Ballet Folklorico, Global Lounge, let's see, who else? Treasure Valley Children's Theater, Huckleberry Star Theater, and some others that I'm not thinking of. But if there's any performing arts organizations or educators that you can think of that kind of do things with youth and would, be able to do some sort of presentation in Meridian, I think it would be great to get lots of applicants for that. So those are out. Deadlines February 2nd and February 16th for the transit shelter. Identity and Theming Public Art Project at Chateau Park. Okay, so this is a parks project, but the way that we are wanting to do this is to develop a committee between the Parks and Rec Commission and the Arts Commission, and some citizens and city staff to develop the project. The artist that Parks wants to use is Ken McCall. He's on the public art roster, and on the Parks and Rec side, there are 3 commissioners who rated, you know how we did that scoring last month about our priorities. The ones that had sort of rated their priorities highest as working on the projects with the Arts Commission were people that we'd like to invite to do that. There's their chair and their youth commissioner and one of their new commissioners. And then on the Meridian Arts Commission side, we'd like to invite Lizzie because Lizzie lives next to the park. Bobby because he is the public art chair, and also the youth commissioner of the Arts Commission because she might not have that many opportunities to do it. So hopefully all of you will be able to be on that committee to think about theming. And Chateau Park is a little bit hard for theming because Chateau is sort of a castle in France, so that will be kind of one of the difficult things to think about, like how to theme something around that identity. So TBD, but we'll keep you looped in. Other projects, the traffic box art projects, the traffic box wraps for next year is something the Public Art Committee will talk about in the next meeting, which is next Tuesday. Don't have an agenda out for that yet, but I hope to get that out tomorrow. We were looking at locations for that and got some good feedback from the city planner on some locations that are or are not in Meridian and might be good for various reasons, like developers are coming in to do something, then they might take out that traffic box, so we don't want to put it in that spot. So we'll look at those locations. Discovery Park projects. So the artist that did the benches has been working on the bike racks, and those are ready to go to powder coating, actually. So they're already cut out, so those are moving along quickly, which is great and exciting. And the fanfare project, his fabricator is still a little bit stalled, but sounds like we're still on track for April. And he's working on some signage to match some of the signage that we did for the benches, which are kind of these bronze plaques. And Fuller Park is another project. I know that's not on this, but that's kind of a longer term project that would be in FY20, Planning for it this year, but then in FY25 happening. I think that covers it.
Great. Thanks, Cassandra. Any questions?
I have a couple. About the call to the youth artist, does it have to be an organization that's like based in Meridian, or can there be members from Meridian, but it's like in Boise, performed in Boise? I don't know. I was just thinking of a couple groups.
Great question. The organization does not need to be based in Meridian. It can be based somewhere else. They need to involve Meridian youth, and they need to do the project or performance in the city of Meridian, but they don't have to be based here.
Okay, then I don't think it's going to work because it's my youth orchestra that I'm in, but we perform usually in Boise, so oh well for that.
Well, and that was kind of one of the considerations last year is the Huckleberry Star Theater was doing their main performances not in Meridian, but they did some promotional performances in Meridian, and so the project went to do that. So if they wanted to come to Meridian, which is the point of this, come to Meridian and offer some performing arts opportunities and, things in Meridian, maybe it would work.
We do a lot of like quartet ensemble gigs, so maybe we could like I just played for the Boise mayor inauguration last night. So I don't know if the Meridian mayor was already inaugurated, but even just random events in Meridian, I'm sure we could play for that or something. So I will hopefully suggest that to our head people and see if they'll maybe apply.
How many members are in your group?
200, but there's 2 different orchestras, but they're under the same
In the youth orchestra?
Yeah, it's a really big organization and it's super fun.
No, I was just thinking maybe there's another opening act.
That's true. We'd totally be willing to do that.
Cool.
And one note, since you brought that up and it's your organization, they're welcome to apply, but when it comes to the voting and scoring process, then you would want to recuse yourself from scoring.
Got it. Totally.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true politician.
Yeah. Okay. All right, next is our initial point gallery updates. I'll hand it over to Lizzie.
Is this microphone working?
Yeah, you just got to lean in a little bit more.
Okay, because the lights are wonky here. Pardon me. The current exhibit, which is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, maybe it's not working.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, God, me and technology, not a good combination. Okay. Current exhibit, Capitol Contemporary Gallery, is absolutely gorgeous. It is, Cassandra, your work is superb. There are other good ones too, but we really liked yours in particular. We're prejudiced. Anyway, the next one, the artist reception is on the 6th of February. This is a big, big deal. This is Bosco, and this is us. I want, please, as many of you as can be there, to be there. I will take care of the clicker, but I want as many people that we can have 2 clickers, we can overlap, we can cheat. I mean, I'm totally teasing. But I want us as an arts commission and as a subcommittee in particular to really shine. I am going to get a new tutu for this event. I promise you I will not do that. So I will host, but if anybody else wants to co-host, it kind of involves being there about 4:15, 4:20, helping set up, making sure that the water pitchers are filled, that the clicker is working, and that you have your game face on. I want Bosco to feel absolutely welcome. I want the dancers from Bosco to feel absolutely welcome. I don't know exactly how many there are. I think it's like 15 to 20. They're dance trainees. They are not highly experienced professional dancers. Make them feel welcome. And the format for the dance performances, we're just kind of working out. They'll either do 2 performances or possibly 3, we don't know quite yet, but make them feel that we are the neatest people on the face of the earth. Okay, I've said enough. I'm done.
All
I'll
right,
be
thanks,
there.
Lizzie.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, I did want to, along the lines with the next show, something that has come up multiple times in the past is the wall color in Initial Point Gallery. So I have been trying to work with building maintenance, and I've submitted some forms, and I'm trying to see if it's possible to paint the gallery walls a lighter, more off-white color. Would still be a very warm white, given the building settings. I think like a bright white's not going to work, but to be a little bit more in line with like gallery professional wall colors. I am hoping that that might happen before the Ballet Idaho show happens. There's a possibility. I'll need to talk to the current artist and see if we can take down just one day early to do the painting on that. But that is in the works.
All right. Sean, did you have something that you wanted to add?
No, I just wanted to tell
Okay.
Lizzie that I'll be there for
All
sure.
right. Great.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, there is one thing I would like to add. As an exhibiting artist for about the last 250 years, it is very important to have a certain quality of light in a gallery. Initial Point is blessed with natural light, but the color of the walls upon which the art is hung is absolutely critical. I don't mean to act in a dispersing manner, but like Deja Brew, where I have exhibited several times, has a Dijon mustard colored wall. That is not conducive to about 99% of any hanging art. Cassandra is very experienced in gallery, in hanging, in coloring, whatever. The walls that are there now, it's a lovely color, but it's not right for a gallery. We need that white that is not refrigerator white, it's not Snow White, but it has a little kiss of creme brulee or something to it. It's a warm white, but not yellow. So to whomever this might reach, please, thank you very much.
Thanks, Lizzie. And just wanted to point out, as you can see on the flyer here, this is another gallery show where we're going to have it up for 2 months. So we're going to have, make sure we get a lot of exposure there for a couple months of viewing. So I am looking forward to the opening, and I will see you there. Hopefully you all be there. It'd be great. Okay, next up is our Events and Outreach Subcommittee, and I will hand it over to Crystal.
All right, so we didn't officially meet last month because we did our ornament drop stuff. This month, we're going to be hitting it pretty hard because we have a lot to cover. We're going to be looking at Art Week, which is always a big event. We're also going to be looking at the Tammy DeWeerd Awards and strategizing what kind of ways to get the word out on that. And then we are going to be discussing, because we have been invited to go to a variety of different events, and first of all, do we want to do that? And second of all, how do we present ourselves? What kind of table or whatever would we have if we were to do that? So that's basically overall what we're going to be covering.
Okay, thanks, Crystal. And what day are you guys meeting? Do you have a meeting date set yet?
Yes, it is, let me pull it up. It's the last Friday of the month, so it doesn't conflict with other committee meetings.
Okay, at what time?
It's at 3 o'clock
3 o'clock.
upstairs.
Okay. And currently, it's just you and Patrick on the committee, is that right? No? You have other folks?
Yeah.
Great. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
We have Sean as
You
well.
have Sean. Okay, awesome. All right, well, looking forward to hearing more about what comes from that meeting. So, okay, last is our inclusivity highlight, and I've been looking forward to this. So, Bobby, I know you're joining us online. Is there a way that you're able to present, or is this something that we might need to send out separately to folks or postpone until next month?
Hi, Cassandra, I emailed you. Were you able to get that?
Yes, and I thought I had it up. Give me a minute to bring it up.
Okay.
Yeah, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Happy New Year. Sorry I couldn't be there today. I'm on the road. And I should be good on my connection. I was at a patch where it probably threw me off in the beginning, but do I sound okay?
Yep, we got you loud and clear.
Great.
Okay, so Cassandra has your presentation up.
Awesome. Well, hip hop turned 50, How Graffiti Has Evolved is the title. And I do not condone any acts of vandalism, nor do I participate in such criminal activity, is my disclaimer. I fell in love with art through graffiti, and so this is very personal to me. I really enjoy the art, and so I'll just say next slide. Urban folklore, the hip hop sound was performed for the first time at a dorm room party in Bronx, New York City in 1973 by DJ Kool Herc. And amongst this community of dancers, artists, musicians, and poets, hip hop was born. Next slide. So 1973, last year was the year that it turned 50. Celebrations and festivals throughout. The four pillars. Hip hop has been one of the most widely spread American cultural productions and social movements of the 20th and 21st century. It describes a collection of cultural production which includes four pillars. Number one, MC, the lyricism, DJing, the audio, breakdancing or b-boying, b-girl, it's the dance, and then graffiti, the writing, it's the visual. These are the four pillars or the four elements of hip hop. Next slide. Folks who participated in the graffiti aspects of the movement were called writers. Writers snuck into the rail yards late at night to stake their claim, using paint cans instead of brushes, turning subway cars into their canvases, and hoping millions of daily commuters would see their tags moving across the city. The early hip hop and rap community crowned graffiti as its aesthetic, as it represented creative expression in the increasingly post-industrial urban environment of the 1970s New York City. Next slide. The birth of hip hop is an example of a marginalized creative using music as an agent of empowerment. The same way writing claims space in the absence of ownership and autonomy within a space or community. Writing and hip hop were also, simply put, created out of urge to impress and creatively collaborate with peers. Hip hop, and more specifically writing, are disciplines generated out of the lack of permission. Graffiti, of course, was and still is seen as an act of destruction and is outright illegal in most contexts. The definition of graffiti as a form of artistic expression, often associated with subcultures as a rebel against authority. Graffiti, in its own origins, was used to publicly display the artistic expressions in response to the lack of access to museums and art institutions and the continuous strife, discrimination, and struggle of living in the city. Graffiti ranges from simple written words to elaborate wall paintings. And of course, graffiti comes with controversy. Graffiti is a very controversial subject. In most countries, marking or painting property without permission is considered a debasement and vandalism, which is a punishable crime. Nowadays, graffiti is commonly recognized as a form of public art, embraced by museums, art critics, and art institutions, but its significance for so many people remains in the neighborhoods, reiterating the importance of accessibility and inclusion in relation to their identity and community in their artwork. Going mainstream. So graffiti, once seen as a clandestine form of art, has emerged from the underground to capture the attention of people worldwide with its expressions and thought-provoking messages. Many graffiti artists have reached international fame and have gotten attention of major brands. Here's a short list of some of these artists, and the list keeps growing. And these artists have is a list of some of the more renowned artists. Some have passed away. Some more famous artists are Keith Haring, John Michel Basquiat, Margaret Kilgallen, and Mr. Brainwash. There's so many artists out there now, and I welcome you guys to just Google some and find the artists that represent graffiti. Next. Methods and production. Spray paint is the #1 medium for graffiti. From this commodity comes different styles, technique, and abilities to form masterworks of graffiti. Some of the styles most mainly use the tag. It's a one color artist name identifier. It's considered disrespectful to write a tag over another artist tag for work. A throwy is it's a simple letter outline filled with colors. Kind of looks like bubble shapes. Often form the letters. Next. A few more styles. The wild style is a particularly hard to read, often considered visual elements. The bubble letters are round, circular, overlapping each other. When one refers to a piece, it's short for masterpiece. It's a big and complex painting. It's very time consuming. It's difficult. It's characterized by many different components, such as a rich palette, 3D elements, and other visual marks. A very popular form of graffiti is called calligraphy. Calligraphy, an art that combines calligraphy, typography, and graffiti. Stencil graffiti is it's a desired design. The desired design is cut out of the selected medium, and then the image is transferred to a surface through the use of spray paint or a roll-on paint. Shepard Fairey is a very known stencil artist. A wheat paste artist is an artist that uses a homemade concoction used for putting up posters. It's a simple combination of flour, sugar, and water. A very well-known artist that uses wheat paste. His name is JR. He's a photographer, and he goes and pastes these large, really cool posters to create his art. And sticker art, also known as sticker bombing, a form of street art in which an image is publicly displayed using stickers. And these are just a few, but a lot of these different graffiti, you could do next now. A lot of these different styles are used for different purposes, and so a personal expression, territorial. A lot of gangs, obviously, will use graffiti to mark their territory. Advertising has been really popular and has really taken on. They'll use a lot of artists, graffiti artists, and promote a particular product or event. Graffiti is also used for radical and political messages. That's often the case. Offensive, of course, graffiti started off in the Stone Ages, I guess, and but in terms of offensive, I mean, you've seen it in bathrooms and whatnot, and of course, decorative, and so just to make the place look nice. These are just a few different uses of graffiti. And next. Graffitiist believes that art should be on display for everyone in the public eye or in plain sight, not hidden away in a museum or a gallery. Art should color the streets, not the inside of some building. Graffiti is a form of art that cannot be owned or bought. It does not last forever. It is temporary, yet one of a kind. It is a form of self-promotion for the artist that can be displayed anywhere from sidewalks, roofs, subways, buildings. Art to them is for everyone and should be shown to everyone for free. And so there's a lot of documentaries and films. As the presence of graffiti art spread across New York City and beyond the world, so did its cultural imprint, leading to various films and documentaries about hip hop culture. There are many scholarly sources with great information on its history and origins. Here's a few. Style Wars in 1983 is a documentary uh, on hip hop graffiti. Wild Style is another document. It's a movie that came out the same year. It's also about hip hop graffiti. I like these two. I like these two movies. These are one of those that I saw when I was young, and but it's a really good source for giving you insight on how the origins of graffiti started in New York City. Thanks. A lot of us have seen maybe Exit Through the Gift Shop, and it's a Bansky produced flick, 2010. And a recent one that came out is called Rolling Like Thunder, and it's a plunge into the underground world of freight train graffiti culture. Um, these are just a few. Again, if you Google graffiti in films and documentaries, you'll see a list of others, but these are the ones I chose to present. And next, I think that's it. This is just a very short introduction or glimpse into graffiti. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I got into art because of it. The bold letters, the colors, the characters specifically were the reasons why I got into art. And so that's my presentation. If you have any questions, Cassandra, if you don't mind sharing this, if anyone needs to check it out. Thanks for your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Bobby. That was very well done. We'll all clap for you.
Really interesting too, huh? Really interesting.
And I am happy to answer any questions after or throughout the year. I, for some reason, know a lot about this subject.
And talking about hip hop culture, if anyone is interested, the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris are going to have breakdancing as an event. So if you guys are interested, go check that out. It'd be really cool.
That's right.
Yeah. Any questions for Bobby?
So this is interesting because I just listened to a podcast about this whole genre, and the artist that was talking in the podcast had mentioned that some artists struggled to move from the street into the gallery, and some didn't do it successfully. Have you found that you or any of the people you know, do they choose to go into galleries or sell their art, or do they decide to keep it as street art?
It's a good question. There is a whole conversation on this topic because the graffiti artists can't always do graffiti. They have to earn a living eventually, and so becoming a gallery artist is kind of the first step. And I guess it's graffiti as a graffiti artist, you kind of have to make a name for yourself first. To allow that transition to happen. It's my thoughts on that. And but a lot of graffiti artists do move eventually into the gallery world, and the gallery and the museums are now more acceptable than any time in terms of accepting the artwork as graffiti and as pure as they can. And so it's kind of a natural progression for an artist to move into the gallery world. And some of these works of art, if you look up Bansky, it's gone into the millions. If you look up, some of these works that have appeared in, Michel Basquiat's work, as you all know, has gone in auction for millions of dollars. And so some of these early graffiti artists have been really successful. Futura 2000, Kaws, Kaws is one of his work is one of the most sought after arts in graffiti, and so many, and yeah. So I think that's probably the goal of most artists, is to transition.
So, second part to that question, with the use of social media and the internet, how it is now, do you feel like more people aim towards still going to the gallery, or do you think that they more try and tread their own path and use those avenues to sell their artwork?
Yeah, I think it's graffiti is still not 100% acceptable in a lot of places. I mean, to be honest, but I think it's with social media, we've allowed to, the gallery per se has become, our eyes have allowed us to view so many artists throughout the world. So social media has allowed us to view some really, really good artists, and obviously some really not so good artists. So it gives us a kind of a good perception on seeing which artists are kind of the real deal per se. And so yeah, I think that's does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Bobby, a question for you. This is Patrick. Has the Public Art Committee ever considered or thought about doing a graffiti public art, the presentation that would be ongoing, in a sense, to celebrate or as a tribute to hip hop and that whole genre?
From my experience, I would say not much in Meridian. I'm happy that Meridian is graffiti free for the most part, but in terms of like celebrating the culture of hip hop worldwide, you'll see a lot of festivals happening, and doing a lot of graffiti and art festivals, and those are really cool to just see online. It's it's a really cool experience to bring in so many artists to come in. And the cool thing about these festivals is people see, it's very similar to what happens in Freak Alley in August when they refresh these walls. People come and get to see art being produced live, and I think it's kind of like a performance art. And so one day I hope that maybe Meridian could have its own little small festival, perhaps, but it's a very controversial art form, and if we do it in a way where we're educating and we're highlighting the positive of it, then perhaps in the future we can do something. But yeah, Meridian hasn't really has a lot of experience or background in these kinds of events.
Yeah. I'll just kind of chime in on that too and say that when we started our Meridian mural series a number of years ago, we put out a call for businesses to submit their buildings for use for the mural series. And one of the buildings that put in for it, that applied, was, so if you're on Main Street and you go north, the sort of little shopping center on the left-hand side at Fairview and Main Street, there's like a tattoo shop, and there's a vape store and a used bookstore and a little bar or something there. They had submitted an application to be one of those, and we kind of discussed the potential for doing a public art piece that was a little bit more graffiti themed or gritty or, like street art kind of theme as opposed to something that's a little bit more, I mean, it would still be family friendly, but, because we're the city, we can't sponsor anything that's, not tasteful or whatever, but still with that kind of theme or style. And ultimately ended up not going that direction, but I would still love to see that someday. I think that would be really cool. That's, yeah, kind of a good location for it right there, just given the kind of businesses that are there. It's a little bit, I don't want to say grittier, but just the right kind of atmosphere for art like that. Right.
So, just an idea, like, I know one of the ribbon cuttings we did was at a skate park. And I know that the city of Boise, referring back to them, I used to work for the city of Boise, and they would partner, like, there were break dancers and there were graffiti artists that partnered with the art commission. And so maybe just thinking in future, like location-wise, if a business didn't want it, what if it was at a city park, kind of like we did, like a skate park or something, and you partnered with actual skate shops and stuff, kind of speaking to that community, but it's in a public area, and no owner of a building might be upset because they'll feel like it attracts a certain crowd. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great idea, and you just made me think of, Emily's on, we're in trouble.
Madam Chair, you're related enough to the agenda, but you're kind of journeying into a new area. So I'd recommend that you kind of come back to the agenda and focus on Bobby's great presentation instead of brainstorming ideas for how to implement it.
Yes, Emily, thank you. As always, keeping us on track, appreciated, much appreciated. So, all right, well, so we can move on from this. Does anyone have any questions specific to Bobby on this topic? Oh, okay. Well, keep brainstorming, keep those ideas in mind for future projects. So I like where we're going with that.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bobby. This was great. Okay, a couple things to mention before we adjourn. Just wanted to know we have an open seat for MAC, so my term is ending next month, and I think applications are open now. So if you guys know other folks, I don't know if they absolutely have to live in Meridian, but it is Meridian residents get first preference. So if you know of anyone who would be interested in serving on the commission, make sure they submit their application. And I wanted to point out at the bottom of our agenda, you will notice that we have our new 2024 commission goals and priorities, and they're listed in the order based on how we voted in our last meeting. So just wanted to specifically point that out. We'll be keeping those in mind as we move through the year, making sure that we are making progress toward meeting those goals and priorities. So our next meeting is February 8th, and Crystal, as our new chair, will be leading. Looking forward to that, Crystal. So unless we have any last thoughts or questions, we will look for a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, before we adjourn, I do just want to thank you personally for all of the time and energy and devotion that you have put into the Arts Commission and the Public Art Committee through all of your time and service and dedication. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And thank you to all of you. You guys make it worthwhile to be on the commission. So I've been really, it's just been so awesome. I think we kind of emailed out our gratitude to each other a few months ago, but just want to reiterate that this is really a great group of folks here, and it's been really fun working with you guys and getting to know you better. And I'm excited to see where the commission goes. This is probably the most engaged and experienced group of folks that we've had on the commission for a while. So I have no doubt that more awesome things are in store with you guys at the helm. So thank you again for all of your commitment, all of your wonderful thoughts and ideas, and keep bringing it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we need a motion to adjourn, unless you just all want to sit here all night, which I got stuff to do, guys. I love y'all, but, you know.
Yeah, if we don't adjourn, your term's not up.
Yeah. I still have another month. I'll be here next month.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I motion we adjourn.
I second that.
All right, Commissioner Byrd moves, Commissioner Paulson seconds, all in favor?
I'm
Aye.
Bye.
See
Good
you
night.
later, have a good one, everybody.
Take care, everyone.